You're watching GH Today. Keep your questions and your comments coming in. Hashtag GH Today. So our guest spent 7 years in education. She has 3 degrees, but you probably know her for one thing only. It's not just her body. The fact that she is a TV presenter par excellence. Welcome to GH Today this morning. 2 days before Christmas, the lovely, the bubbly, the beautiful Peace Hyde.
And her swollen head.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you. Can I have a hug?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Hey, some people are copying some people. But
That's
so beautiful. Oh, that's nice.
Have a seat. You're welcome.
Good morning, babe.
Hi.
You get a handshake.
Hi, my daughter. Hi, my daughter. Mwah. Mwah. Hi, my daughter. Did you hear that?
I heard.
I mean, come on, guys.
Peace, you're welcome.
Is a part of us, and this is her home.
Yes,
Indeed,
yes.
if we are the royal, or should I say the TV royals, I'm the queen here.
Hey,
She's the king.
That
She's
means I'll
definitely
catch
a
you later.
princess. She's just one of our little
I'll help
children,
her.
you know. So, I mean, and that's so beautiful to see that father and daughter kind of
Yes.
relationship thing going.
Yes, I
That's
do love my
huge.
daddy.
Thank you very much. That's inspiration for the morning. Peace, you're welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Good to have you here.
Yes, I've called my trouble now.
A little something before we go on. You know what he said, that having peace here is like, what? A hat trick.
Oh,
Good.
So we have this game going on, and we'll
You
tell
know.
you about it later on.
right.
But you are in our hot seat, and it's
Thank
a pleasure
you.
to have you here.
Yeah.
Merry
Thank
you
Christmas
very
in
much.
advance.
Yes, Merry Christmas.
Oh, my God, you're so sweet. I've always seen you on TV. It's my first time of actually meeting you,
Yes.
and I must say that you're flawless.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. You look
It's in all the
amazing.
right places.
Oh.
Before we even go there, let's start at the beginning. Because
I'm
I'm gonna
taking
ask
the lead.
lots of questions. Let's begin from the beginning.
Yes.
Tell us your earliest memory and growing up.
Growing up, it will always be about food because I love food. So I think my fondest and earliest memories are just always sitting with my family eating, especially around this time of year. Christmas is a really big deal. I love cooking. So this is where myself, my mother, my sister would always be in the kitchen cooking just so much food for us to all sit together and eat. So this is kind of a nice time for me.
That accent is so heavy.
Yes,
and
my
definitely
lafa.
we know.
No.
We know where
In it,
you're
in it.
coming from when we hear this accent.
Yeah.
I could tell that you grew up in England.
In the UK, yeah. I was born in
did?
the UK and lived there for quite most of my life, really.
Okay, so
Okay,
you were born
when
in the
did
UK.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a question here from Kukuruk. It's Daniels, and he wanted to know where you were born, and you've answered that question. And then he says this. He says you have great accent, striking face, coupled with an hourglass-shaped body. You are so nurturing and warm, and he's wishing you the best
Oh,
in your
thank you
endeavors.
very much.
Do
God
you
bless
share what Cuckoo is saying now?
Of course. Why
You
should I
do.
disagree with him?
No, I'm just asking the question. Really, what are you being so?
Do you agree?
No, I was
Queen
loving
bee.
you. I know.
Do you agree?
I was loving you. And what else can a mother do? You know.
Thank you, mother.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
Mom has got to let you know that, hey, you have it all. Don't let any guy
I
deceive
got it
you.
from you.
Oh, okay, I wish.
School. So
Yeah.
you have 3 degrees.
I have 1 degree. I have 2 masters.
That's 3 degrees.
Okay.
Oh, is it?
1 bachelor's and 2
Oh,
masters.
okay.
Why? Why all this school?
My mum is hardcore about education. Like, from when I hated school, she was always pumping to us, education is the future. The only way you can access whatever it is you want to do in this life is education. Even if you want to be a dancer, you need to have a plan B. So initially, education was just something that I went into to just get my mum to leave me alone. She wanted me to be a doctor, which was fine. But when we started, we had a science class where we had to cut open a frog. Yeah. After that, I was like,
You didn't like the dissection?
This is not
no.
me.
And then they took us to an abattoir with cows. So they killed the cow in front of us. After that, I became vegetarian for 3 years. So there was no
Oh
straight,
my
like,
goodness.
no, I was traumatized. I didn't eat for 3 days. And then after that, I couldn't eat meat. So, well, now I can. But at that time, it was too much. So I realized I can't do this doctor thing. It's not going to work.
So then you became you studied psychology for your first degree?
Yes, I studied psychology, and then I went on to do teacher. to become a teacher. So I started teaching chemistry, biology, and physics, and I did loads of like little courses to make sure I was apt enough to do that. I did that for the best part of 4 to 5 years, and then I went into senior management, where we started training other teachers and just making sure that the classroom environment was getting maximum conducive. Is making sure that the environment was very conducive for learning, for both the teacher and the pupil.
What were your other degrees in the master's degrees? You have 2 of them.
Yes, so then after that I actually came here and I decided to do entertainment. I was still doing teaching, so I'm working with a lot of international schools with my own company, but then I decided that I was kind of amazed, because when I started it was quite overwhelming. I wasn't expecting it to go the way it did. I had a lot of faith, but I wasn't expecting it to go the way it did. And I saw that the media has a lot of power. So I decided that I want to learn more about the media. I want to learn more about the online world, because that's how I was introduced. So I first did digital communication and media, and I looked into just how does it work? Because I know that social media is like the thing now. It's creating people. I feel that a big part of my career, I wouldn't have existed if it wasn't for social media. So I went into that very, very hardcore. I got my master's, and I didn't feel like I was enlightened. I felt like, okay, I've got the qualification, but it didn't open my mind to the fullest of what I wanted. So I thought, you know what? Let me look more about the content that is being pumped out there. You know, how do you come about writing these articles? What do you need to study in order to do it well? So I thought, okay, let me try journalism. So I started my master's in journalism. I qualified, it's now nearly 3 months ago, which is when then I started writing for the magazine.
Fantastic.
But during that time, I was also contributing for them just to get experience. And
When is
stuff
the
like
PhD
that.
coming?
Let's wait. I've done a bit now, so I want to kind of take it a bit easy.
Okay.
You're talking about the magazine. Is it the Forbes magazine?
Yes.
Okay. So when did you start writing for the magazine?
I was actually writing for them for like 6 months as a contributor while I was studying. And then when I got my qualification, it was quite an odd series of events, because I was in, I don't know if you remember the June the 3rd floods.
Yes.
I was like in the floods, and I had a really bad accident. So I was in hospital for about a month, and they sent me a kind of story saying, look, we know you're in Ghana, these floods happen, can you write for us, you know, what's going on in Ghana? I said, well, look, I'm in hospital because of these floods. Let me write my personal experience. So I wrote what happened to me. At that time, I didn't know that the correspondent that they had was actually now resigning. So when I submitted that story, they were kind of like, we didn't know you nearly died in the floods, and you've written this piece. They were really excited about it, and they said, look, we want to see if you can do this, which was a huge, huge move for me, and it was a lot of faith really that they put in me. So literally, as I came out of hospital, I went and started writing as a West African correspondent, which was a very, very huge opportunity, which I'm so thankful to God for.
This is the magazine that talks about money.
Yeah.
No, I think Forbes has a connotation of money, but it's not about money. It's actually about entrepreneurs. It's about people who have taken the leap of faith and are going and pursuing their dreams, whatever it may be.
Right.
They're leaders of different industries, but they're at different stages. So it's not necessarily about the multimillionaires. Yes, we do cover the rich list, but we also cover startups. I mean, recently we've had amazing people. One of my first ever articles in Forbes was Fred Digby, who does Heal the World Shoes. And he's he's picking up a lot of momentum with his business. He's doing a phenomenal job. But that story was amazing. People were like, wow, I didn't know people could do this. Luxury shoes in Ghana. We've covered Elizabeth Patterson, who is currently the Velisco Woman of the Year. And she's doing amazing things in the education space with young females. So Forbes has a connotation about money, but the reality of it is we just profile people who are doing amazing things. And I always like to encourage everyone, even people at home, please, if you know entrepreneurs that are doing amazing things, send me an email and let me look into them, because it's not necessarily about their wealth, but it's about the impact that they're creating and their entrepreneurial story.
Well, you should be talking to me after this show, okay?
No doubt. Let's do it.
But listen.
Let's see if it can work.
Exactly. I can tell that, I mean, coming from the science background, the passion definitely is leaning towards what you're doing now.
Definitely.
I can tell from the way that you even, articulate it.
Thank you.
How has the experience been like so far?
I think the experience from transitioning from teaching to now going into the entertainment space has been quite a challenging one. What I love about now TV presenting and event hosting and all of that is that it's so different from what I'm used to.
But you do it so well.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I think you guys are awesome.
Oh, come on.
But it really helps because I didn't realize how much I was preparing in teaching, presenting in class, like topics where people don't want to know about digestion, but you've got to kind of make it exciting. So I find it interesting that the skills I didn't realize I was working on have really helped me in this sphere. But I'm just really grateful that I get to pursue something I'm very passionate about, but I haven't let go of my education side. I still get to do Aim Higher Africa, which is about entrepreneurship and young people in the education space. So
there's a question
and that is with your NGO, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, we'll talk about that later.
There's a question here from on Instagram from Elom540. Says, Peace, I love you so much. You're looking beautiful.
Thank you.
And he wants me to find out from you why you came back to Ghana.
For me, moving back to Ghana, I've always had a feeling that I wanted to come home. And it's very strange because I was born in the UK, so most people would say, well, UK is home, that's all you know. But for me, I've always had that gut feeling. And I followed education, I did teaching, but I noticed that I had a flair for creativity. When I decided and I made the choice, I thought I could easily sit down and start going into entertainment in the UK. But I'm very passionate about coming back and seeing Ghanaians, seeing Africans do amazing things. One of the misconceptions people seem to think is, why didn't you do it in the UK? And I realized from being a teacher that when you speak to young African students, their role models are all in the UK doing stuff. They have a few people that they'll highlight. Oh, I know this person in Ghana, but I don't really know. They grew up in Ghana, so it's different. So I realized that there's a misconception that Ghanaians that are doing phenomenal things in Ghana, there's a big disconnect to the ones that are in the UK trying to, make their way and find out who do I want to be. So what I decided is, I can do it here or I can do it at home. And I found that going home actually got a much larger UK audience to say, you can do this in Ghana. They're doing TV like this in Ghana. Yeah, I know her. She's from the UK. And so I realized that it actually changed the perception of what it is to be in the entertainment industry in Ghana, and realize that, look, by me doing this, you notice, oh, there's that person as well. You have people like Shirley Frimpong, who I think is awesome, and she's constantly going to the UK and doing her premieres there. So you're bridging the gap, and you're making sure that our country, our continent, is being shone a light on the amazing things that we're doing. That's what I love about even the interviews that I'm doing now. It's highlighting amazing Africans that are doing amazing things in Africa and beyond.
Exactly.
But if you do it in the UK, it's just kind of, I feel like it will be a lost effort, and that's...
I mean, so like you said that you've been in Ghana for how long?
It's coming up to 2 years now.
Coming up to 2 years, and already you're doing so much. You're acting?
I've done a little bit of acting.
A little bit of acting.
Yes. I wouldn't say I'm like, an actress, but I've done a little bit of acting. I recently did MTV Sugar. I really loved that experience. I love the whole MTV Sugar journey, really, because I love
MTV Sugar.
Yes.
Oh, that's the movie that you started.
No, it's an online series, and it deals with basically educating the youth about HIV and AIDS.
Right.
So I was really passionate about it because I love the way they managed to merge education and entertainment to form a platform that has such a huge following, but it's informing people about AIDS, HIV, and showing people that it can affect anyone. It's not what you see in the films. It's real, and it's young, and it's happening now. So it was an amazing opportunity to be part of that, and I loved it. It was a huge learning experience.
Education, sorry, Kev.
Go ahead.
Education, seems to be running through everything that you say.
Yes.
So I definitely know where you're coming from. And indeed, you talk about how that your mom was so big on education.
Yes.
And I know about the foundation, you were about talking about the foundation, and it's kind of deep-rooted in education as well.
100%.
Could you let us in?
Well, when I moved back, I thought I wanted to still do education. I couldn't leave the classroom. I love it. So I started my own business, which was Aim High Consulting, and it went to different schools, just talking about how to improve the systems and structure that they already have.
What level?
Secondary school and university. That's the level that I taught at in the UK, so I kind of kept that consistent. And then I went to different schools. I worked with the management, I worked with classroom, the kids, and just made sure that we were introducing systems that made every child's learning experience count, and trying to integrate integrate IT in learning, because that's something that that's the way forward right now. So I think it's important for kids to experience IT in so many different spheres, whether it's biology, from art, there's so many different levels. And that was one of the main passions that we did with Aim Higher Consulting. Recently now, due to how well that's going, we've now started Aim Higher Africa, which is about building creative thinking in kids. So it's going into different school institutions and teaching them about entrepreneurship qualities. I think our education system is quite strong, but I think one of our biggest deficits is that we're not teaching children how to think outside of the classroom. It's a lot of chew and pour. And my problem with that is just that although we've got such competent people, they're not thinking in the business sense.
I think that we don't have that kind of the practical base form of teaching in Ghana.
Yeah, because we're talking about frogs and cows, and that was practical biology.
You know,
and if you don't like it, then at an early age, you know that, look, I am not going to be a doctor, I'm not going to be a vet, because this thing just scares the hell out of me. So it's really important.
I hope you can share some success stories with us.
Well, one of the schools that I actually worked with, they had a whole IT suite, but unfortunately a lot of the computers weren't working. So we found that a lot of kids were learning without using actual computers. What I love about the company that I'm working with now is that we're able to now get computers into the school. So we were able to work with the school and train the teachers on how to utilize computers, and then train the students on how to use it in their studies. So where kids had been going for quite a while without using computers, they were now able to use it regularly, take it home, do their work, and use IT and see how useful it was. And funnily enough, a lot like what you said, some of the kids were like, I don't really like this, it's not listening to me. And so getting that experience of hands-on your course helped a lot of people realize what their passion was and wasn't. So for me, I think it was that was one of my first ever real defining moments that I did with Aim High that made me realize this is actually going to work. And that motivated me a lot.
Fantastic.
I'm very much impressed.
Lot of naughty questions for you, and I'm going to go into them right now.
But let me ask again, you also won an award for the Young CEO. What?
Yes, Young Global CEO.
Global CEO award.
When was
this?
Basically what they do is they profile all the young CEOs in Africa, people that are doing things, and then they select a group of 3 people who are making the most impact in different industries. So they contacted me saying, look, we've seen what you've been doing with Aim Higher. Because of my entertainment profile, it was very much in the background. So when I started doing the Ignite Entrepreneurship Workshop, where people are now hearing, okay, she's gone to this university, they started looking more into Aim Higher and realized that this is something that's been running for 3 years. You've been working with schools. We didn't know this. So they contacted me. They actually contacted a member of my team, was doing loads of interviews and stuff to find out, is this actually real or is it a gimmick? And then I think they realized, look, this is not a gimmick. It has been running. It's an established business. And they said, look, we want to invite you down to get this award. And for me, I mean, I've been doing this for a while. I've had a few nominations, but no awards.
And then finally you
then I got an award. And what I found was amazing is it was in something that I was...
After everything that I've heard this morning, you more than deserve this.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Kafwe, I can see on your
So
face
these are your questions. These are not my questions. These are from Instagram and Facebook.
I'm surprised that you're actually shying away from...
Nana Asay Ado says, kindly ask Peace whether she's really natural back and front.
What a question.
And he said, I'm shy.
You're not shy, because if you're shy, why would you write that?
No, he said it. That's the question there.
Do you know what? I have to admit, and I'll be quite honest here, when I started out, I had a lot of people asking me these questions, and I was quite naive. I was like, okay, well, you know, and I'm really grateful that throughout my journey, in the beginning, I didn't know the impact of these type of questions. I didn't realize how many people were paying attention to what I would say.
Really?
And I had no idea. I mean, I just did the Ghana Movie Awards and left. So when people started asking, I was like, oh yeah, sure. Now I realize how much what I say can actually have an impact. So when I'm given an opportunity to be on such an amazing platform, for me, I like to always say what my mom says. Whether however you feel about yourself is one thing, but never let your beauty define you. Make sure if you have a cake, let your beauty just be the icing. Your cake is what you have to offer, your character, your personality, your substance. That's what lasts.
Which means you're not answering the
question.
So
for me personally, I like the fact that they're shy, because I know that it's not the polite question to ask a lady, but at the same time, I would like, for me personally, if possible, at some point, that people realize that, look, it's not just about what a woman looks like anymore. It's about what she brings. It's about what she says. And that's what our youth are watching. They're watching when we celebrate certain personalities, why are we celebrating them? If we keep on propelling the answers to these questions, you're never going to focus on what that person
Which means
really
you're
has
not
to
answering
offer.
my question. In a short...
Sexism
Yes,
and all of
Daddy.
that. And
Are your
I know you
curves
get
a
that a
curse?
lot.
Do you find your curves to be a curse? Do people go beyond the fact that you have 3 degrees and you've done all this stuff and you're in psychology and then they just look at your boobs?
I think I've been really blessed with the opportunity to actually grow as a personality. I think it's very easy sometimes to be boxed into a certain category, and I've been really blessed with the opportunities that I've been given to show that, look, you may only notice when someone walks into a room certain attributes, whether it's their shoe size or their hair or whatever it may be. But I've been really blessed by Ghana, by the media, and by different platforms that I've been allowed to showcase what I really have to offer. And by God's grace, I believe that I have more. So I would like, hopefully over time, that people will start seeing that, oh, actually, this person does this, etc., etc. But, you know, you can't escape it. People can...
I must ask the question again. They want to know whether it's real, 100%. Is this Peace Hyde or you've done surgery?
Peace is the smartest girl that I think we've had on this segment.
Thank you very much.
But she needs to
I
answer the
appreciate
question.
that. I really, as I said, I really appreciate the platform, and I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to speak. But what I would like to answer is that this Saturday, for Boxing Day, because I'm not going home to see my family, Aim High Africa are going to the northern region. We're going to actually a school for
I'm so good. So I'm
I learned it from you, Mario.
that is great, and I'll give you the chance to make that pitch on camera.
Yes,
this is another question. This is from Curvy Women's Clothing. Do you wear waist trainers all the time?
Do you know, I'm glad you've given me this platform again. I keep
you
saying
wear
that. That's a brilliant
waist
question.
trainers? Yes.
It's something that's a trend. A lot of people are encouraging it, whether it's for exercise, for physical improvement, and I put it in quotation marks. For me, I think there's a lot of health risks. Everything that you do has an impact. And I think that, to be honest, as a young woman, when we're growing up, I had a lot of issues. I was overweight.
You were overweight when you were young?
I was very overweight.
Okay, all right.
And I learned the impact of a healthy lifestyle. And to me, that beats any gimmick, that beats any short-term thing. My mama has always taught me hard work gets you where you are and keeps you there. So if I use certain devices, it may look a certain way, but it won't last. And to me, I'm greedy. I like it to last. So I believe in going to the gym. I believe in eating healthy. And I think that's the best way that you can look, the best you can look without any gimmicks.
So you don't wear waist trainers?
I believe I've answered that question, darling.
I didn't get the answer.
You didn't?
No.
Okay, so I believe in a healthy lifestyle.
Okay, so you eat good, you drink lots
eat
of water,
good, you work
fruits,
out.
You work out,
yes,
and you leave the waist trainers for other people.
Everyone has the thing that they like, but for me, I prefer the gym. I think it lasts. And you don't have to feel conscious and feel like, you know, you've got to work
How often
hard.
do you work out?
I work out, well, now because of the accident, I haven't had the chance to work out, and I'm putting on loads of weight because of it. But in 3 months, I'll have a chance to start working out. But before that, I was working out almost every morning. But I like it. It's a nice way of kind of relaxing me. I eat way too much, so I need to kind of have that balance.
You love your food, but I mean, I know
love it.
Oh yeah, I know someone who says that you can actually, you know, eat anything that you want to eat and still be healthy.
Yeah,
so I
believe
love
in
the
that.
bit where
Yeah.
you're particular about hitting the
Yeah.
gym and staying healthy and all of
Yeah.
that. But hey, your piece. I mean, you have a motivational, you know, corner.
Yes, piece of peace.
Yeah, piece of peace.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, it's a true inspiration. I think
Thank
I read
you.
one. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
What inspires you to do that?
I think that when I moved to the UK, all my family, my friends were in, when I moved to Ghana, sorry, all my family and friends were in the UK.
Okay.
So the main thing that I did to keep me going was always write a diary of things that motivated me. Weirdly enough, one of my friends came over that day and they saw what I was writing. I was like, oh, you should find out if you can put this. This is really good. So I actually was talking to Amiel Deborah about it, and I said, look, this is what I write. And he goes, that's really good.
Wow.
Why don't I put it on my site every
Yeah,
week?
the
And I said,
blog,
I would love it. So I actually write it every day, but then once a week I'll take one of them and put it up. And it was initially to motivate me, but I found that whenever I was putting up, people would read it and say, oh, wow.
Yeah.
And they would send me questions, and now I've managed to build up, I always call them faith builders, because I've managed to build up a kind of following of Piece of Peace where people are, okay, I've gone through this, what should I do? And then I'll write my view. Not that I'm qualified. I like to say that I'm not qualified to tell people how to live their life. I'm very, very young. I like to think, in my journey. But I feel that everyone can learn from someone. And the little things that I've gone through, I would just like to share that. And hopefully through sharing that, I'm creating space to learn more things and can keep on sharing. And I'm also learning from what people are sending me. So I think it's kind of a mutually beneficial.
Yeah,
Okay.
You truly are inspiration.
Indeed.
Thank you
And
very
I have some
much.
random questions I always ask my celebrity guests. So
I
here
can
they
see
come.
why.
Okay, so what's your favorite ice cream brand?
No dodging, please.
Ice cream brand.
Yes.
Ice cream brand. I don't have a favorite ice cream.
Favorite meal?
But I like chocolate ice
You
cream.
like chocolate ice cream?
With
Okay.
nuts
Yeah.
Okay,
or
we-
pistachio.
We know what to get when you come
Okay.
next time. Favorite meal?
Okra stew and banku.
Nice one. All-time favorite movie?
The color purple.
The Color Purple.
Yes.
Okay. Dream job?
I'm doing it now.
You're doing it right now.
Yes.
Do you prefer people to be straight with you or they should be diplomatic?
I need everyone to be straight with me. I love criticism. I love people being frank with me. And yeah, I feed off that. So
Especially
I
when it
prefer
comes
that.
to the girls, you love people being real with you.
Yes, but yeah.
Favorite talk show host?
You guys.
Politician. Of your 5 senses, which do you treasure the most?
That's a tough one.
I'd say sight at the moment. When you asked me, the first thing I thought was sight, because yeah.
You want to see
I think-
things?
Yeah, and that's where that's what's creating memories for me more than anything else, I believe. So when you said it, the first thing that came to my mind was sight.
What do you like most about men?
All men are not
Do you
the
know
same.
what I love? What I love is no matter what stage they're at in their life, they're go-getters. And it's innate. I think obviously because they're providers, they tend to be quite aggressive towards what they're doing, especially in terms of the workspace. So for me, I like that about them. And I like the fact that now we're even getting women who are becoming like that, which I look up to a lot. So yeah, I love that about them.
So could we
They
actually
their
say,
zeal, they get up and go.
from what she's saying now, could we say that you like your man to be that aggressive and have that attitude?
No.
No?
No, I want
Okay.
nice people. I don't want you to be aggressive.
Your greatest achievement?
My greatest achievement, being alive.
Being alive. Your
Yeah.
biggest challenge and how you overcame it?
My biggest challenge in this whole thing is my mind, I think, because I've done a lot of things, and the hardest thing is to convince yourself you can do it. And that is what I've always struggled with. When opportunities came, I would go with it because I'm like, yeah, okay, I can do it. But every single time, doubt always creeps in. And I think the hardest challenge consistently is my mind.
Okay.
So I think I always have to, Peace, you can do it, it's okay. And I think we all have those nerves and those moments.
Yeah.
But for me, that's what the consistent challenge is. Challenging your mind to go
better.
past your limits that you set yourself.
Favorite memory of your late father?
When he caught me stealing sweets at a party.
When he does, are you sure you
got-
heard what she said?
Yes.
He caught me stealing sweets
Sweets
at a
in the
party.
party.
And there's a picture of me I have with his hand, and I'm holding like a ridiculous amount of sweets, looking like,
What would he think of what you're doing now?
I think initially he would have thought, I think she's gone mad. But my mum thought that as well. But now I know he would be proud of me. And my mums and my family, they're always saying, Peace, I'm really proud of what you've done. I didn't actually think you could do it. And my mum is very blunt. And she said, Peace, I'm really proud of you. I didn't think you could do it.
Who are you
so
seeing now?
I'm seeing you and Basewell.
Who are
Okay,
you
you know
dating?
that's not what he meant.
Who are you dating?
I'm not dating anyone.
Why not?
I think that for me, I'm not searching. I'm just focused really on my work. I believe that if you work to fulfill your best potential, the right person will come into that path. So for me, if I go looking, I'll probably find what's not meant for me. But if I focus on just being the best I can be, the best that is right for me will come along. So that's kind of what I'm working with. It's taking a bit of time, but yeah.
Would you see, if you saw a fine guy and you thought this could be my guy, could you propose to him?
Propose. I don't know. I've never been in that situation.
Never had to say.
But
this is what
would
you
that be a big deal?
A woman proposing.
Yeah.
I'm very traditional. So I like the idea. I like romance. I like the idea of, someone proposing. And you're like, oh my God.
So what's your
So,
perfect proposal? Peace.
My perfect proposal. It has to involve a lot of food.
A lot of food.
Yeah.
Banku and okro.
Well, no, don't
Not
put
in
the
this
ring
case,
in the
right?
okra, because the way I eat my okra, I'll swallow the ring. So no, maybe not banquet okra, but I don't know, something very romantic and food. But I'm not sure what food, but not banquet okra.
Is Justin Dumas your friend?
I've only met her once. When I
Okay.
started, I was on Adam's Apple. I think it was the first or second season. I met her briefly, and then I've kind of met her in passing throughout this, like, my journey. But no, I've never really had the opportunity, unfortunately, to
So
sit
you
down
also
and speak
heard,
with her.
because I think rumor has it that
Heard.
you have a beef with her.
Aish!
That's a rumor. So we just wanted to clear
No.
the air.
Do you know what?
Just
I
so.
think that
Well, you took over the crown,
what crown?
the hip crown.
My goodness, I didn't know there was a hip crown.
She was reigning before you came.
Well, I
Okay,
can't comment on
I don't want
that,
to even
but for
hear
me,
that.
do you know what I found? Is that it's funny, there's a lot of amazing people in this industry that actually inspired me to move home. So for me, when I look at what people have
People
managed
like
to
who?
achieve,
People like who?
I'll give you the names in 1 second, but when I look at what people have managed to achieve, I think to myself, wow, that was what motivated me. I remember, I always say, number ones were Jackie Appiah and Yvonne Nelson. Like, I used to watch them and be like, oh my God, they're so amazing. So when I came back and I saw that I was in the entertainment industry, I interviewed Yvonne Nelson at EFGH, I was like, oh my God, I was such a fan. It was so sad. And I know she's like, just get a grip. But
Look.
yeah, so for me, I think there's amazing women doing amazing things. But what I love nowadays, and I hope it's something that is transpired, I hope that there's no beef, but I hope that people see that, look, it's not about a competition. It's about women empowering and supporting each other to do amazing things. I have no competition here. We all hold hands and try and rise together.
So no beef with
And
Jocelyn?
I have no beef with anyone in any industry, in any part of the world. I am inspired by women who work hard to achieve their full potentials, and all of them do.
What's your
All
message
of
to your
them.
fans?
I would like to say thank you so much for everyone who follows me, everyone who takes 5 seconds to read my weirdly long Instagram posts. I really, really appreciate it. I couldn't do it without you guys building my faith constantly, and that means everything to me. And yes, I mean, I just really appreciate the support you've given me for my journey, and may it continue.
They
Listen,
indeed will be proud of you this morning. You have spoken so very well.
Thank
I'm
you
so
very
impressed.
much for the opportunity.
I'm inspired. I know that there are a lot of people that are watching you this morning and are having different views of you right now. So
Really?
thank
Oh,
you.
thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Thank you for being here.